Hello guys, I am back from San Francisco visiting the Meta headquarters to try out the new Quest 3S, and within those demo sessions I was able to play Batman, Metro and Behemoth on the standalone device. So I wanted to share a little insight into those experiences, as they are some of the most anticipated games of this year, and we've not heard much about them regarding the standalone version. Note that the Quest 3S is only $300 and will come bundled with Batman. And it's a device that is so much closer to the Quest 3 experience than I think many of us were expecting. The visual boost from the XR2 Gen 2 chip is fantastic. At least these games I'm talking about today are, and especially if you are upgrading from the Quest 2 or from no headset at all, your mind is going to be blown. So let's start off with Batman. It's no secret Batman looks super crisp on standalone hardware. The color palette is also vibrant for a game that I was expecting to be a bit more gritty and dark. The colors pop, and it's almost a comical vibe to it. It's not a Christopher Nolan Batman, that is for sure. I was able to stand in this light, and I could see my cape flowing in the shadows, including the silhouette of Batman, which was so profound. As a fan, it was a fantastic moment, seeing my full body avatar looking down. I'm Batman. That's crazy to see the... Ooh. Anyway, as well as also be able to see the bat mask in the shadow, seeing the pointy ears silhouetted on the floor. The pacing of this game is also great. You can sprint forever, which invokes speed lines, but you can also flick the sticks to vault over objects, press a button to fire your grappling hook to get up some ladders rather quickly, and grab your cape to glide over gaps. You can really keep the flow up in this Batman game. It is slightly linear, with some options to choose a slightly different path to find some unlockable content. It certainly is an open world, at least from what I had played. Then the combat is like a fighting version of a dance mat game almost. It's not about speed, it's all about fluidity. You will fly towards someone with a punch, like the classic Arkham games, and you have to hit certain points in succession, and hit in a specific direction. And something I also love is you can grab a head and ram it into a knee. To block counters, you simply just have to do a jab quickly on the enemy to stun them, or you can fling your arm out to the side when a blue icon appears to start attacking an enemy that is somewhere else, instead of having to turn and find them. This helps with the fluidity. But be careful, because I see so many walls being smashed with this move, just bam. My favourite though, the finisher. You turn into Ip Man, you have to throw as many punches as possible to the face. You're like... Brrr. I love it. The game definitely feels like it's designed for an incredibly large demographic, new and old, an introduction into VR, but there's also an engaging, fun experience, a really fine line to walk, but I think they've done a really good job with it, a contender for Game of the Year for sure, and it's bundled with the Quest, so many people are going to be playing this game. Next, Behemoth. We have seen tons of PC VR footage of this, but none of Quest, so I was very skeptical given the reputation of going from PC to standalone. But I was genuinely shocked at the look of this game visually for standalone. It looked way better than I was expecting. It was like a PC game from the dawn of VR period. And I absolutely loved the carnage you experience in this with the combat. The weapons, they have a different weight and feel depending on where you're holding them. So I had an axe. If I held the top of the axe, I had so much control, it was really quick. If I held the bottom of the axe, it gave me such a weighted swing. Much like the feel that you would have experienced with Saints and Sinners, which makes sense because it's the same developer. You can also hold weapons any way you like, by the way, which is also very, very freeing. I incredibly loved using my longsword in combat, blocking, knocking someone down, then being able to just turn the sword, grab the top, and ram it into the downed enemy. I know it sounds sinister, but that's part of what this game is about. The combat is very violent. If you've seen the film The Northman, it reminded me of that. You look down and you are absolutely covered, not like a splatter, covered in blood, and combining that with this really visceral combat, it's a feral, adrenaline-filled experience. And when you finally get to go and face a Behemoth, it's 100% like Shadow of the Colossus in style if you have played that. I had to use my grappling hook to trip the beast so it would fall to the floor, enabling me to climb up it. And I could climb up it because vines and growth vegetation was growing on its legs and its body. But a concern is if you're new to VR, these Behemoths, they move whilst you're trying to climb them, and this may induce some motion sickness. It's a very unique experience, but slightly intense. There are some things things they could improve on though mechanically, such as swinging. Your grappling hook, when you fire it and you swing and you let go, you expect your momentum to carry you forward. But instead you start sinking like you're in quicksand, and it makes it annoying to traverse because what your brain thinks you're going to do versus what you actually end up doing, there's a disconnect. But overall, the game looked great, it played great, some small balancing improvements that can easily be fixed pre-release or patched. This is a game that you are going to love, potentially another contender for Game of the Year for sure. And finally, Metro VR. Metro, I showcased this on the channel, 50 minutes of gameplay running on the PlayStation VR 2, and I went in on Meta's demo a skeptic. The art style of Metro is not very stylized, it's going for more realistic visuals, which we know does not go very well when you're porting that sort of thing to standalone hardware, but my goodness, did this look good. This looks way better than I was expecting. It has its paper mache moments, it does, I cannot deny that, but the environments are still filled with assets, the weapons look fantastic and shiny, the mechanics felt one-to-one to the PC version, although the AI did feel more balanced on this Quest demo than I had played previously. They were not as hard to take out this time around, but they did look good, and they were not completely stupid. And the demo I played was pretty much exactly the same as the PlayStation VR 2 demo that I had played before and have showcased on the channel, but on standalone. So I had a good comparison from at least memory of what I was playing. I also did not run into any performance issues with the demo, which was another concern because the game looked decent. I thought, oh, here we go. It's going to be suffering in some other ways, but it did not. And it makes me wonder how Hitman 3 ended up like it did. The weapons sounded great, the haptic response from them was also brilliant. I love the ability to knock out a clip with another clip. They have packed so much into this experience that if this had released a year ago or 2 years ago, this would have been considered an absolute miracle. Exactly like Saints and Sinners was when that first released. This and Behemoth, I think, are miracle games on standalone. This one may not be the game of the year though, competing with other titles that we've just mentioned because it's not as accessible, it's scary, it's mature, slower paced, and a longer experience. But it for sure deserves the title I've seen a few times out there, which I also stated, not even speaking to those people, was this is Half-Life Alyx for standalone. It is brilliant, it plays brilliant, it looks brilliant. Vertigo Games have done an incredible job. And after experiencing these titles on Quest 3 hardware utilising the 3S, I was evidently, as you can tell, blown away. I think I'm a convert to the device, especially at the price point and the experiences that it's going to offer for just $300. I know it's Fresnel lenses, I know it has a slightly lower display, but you do get longer battery life and a better bargain, and it comes bundled with Batman. And when you're playing, you don't even think about the fact you're looking through Fresnel lenses. You don't notice it, it looks fantastic. Meta actually said to me the 3S was supposed to be what the 3 is, but economics and logistics didn't allow it for them to hit that price point. So that is why it's now being released now to try and open up the market and get more heads in headsets. So what a year end we have got. Please comment any questions you have about these games. I'll try and comment and answer them if I have an answer, based on what I have currently played. I'll also have links down below for the games and the headset if you're interested. Obviously, don't buy Batman if you're buying a headset. It's going to come bundled, so don't worry about that. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. Happy gaming, guys. Good day!